Boy, was I wrong the first time. With Slickshot having plot, you get a huge benefit from playing protection spells like Blossoming Defense. Remember, on that turn where they're holding up Fatal Push, if you just plot your Slickshot and cast it on a later turn when you have mana available to cast something like a Blossoming Defense, if they then use their Fatal Push, you get to say no, and they take an extra 2 damage. So it just kind of puts them in this awkward position where they still have to hold up mana, but then it's not even clear that them holding up mana is good enough. I might have dismissed this card a little too early.
Bruh. 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 Bruh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel as we gear a little bit deeper into the RCQ season. This is a deck that I personally, well, as of the time of recording, I've already played an RCQ with this deck. Didn't go so well. But it is one of the best decks in the format currently, and one of the most played on Magic Online for sure. And that is Gruul, I guess, aggro. This isn't the wizard stuff. So there's going into this video, there's about 50,000 different versions of Gruul that you could realistically be playing right now. Some have the Wizards package, some are mono red, just splash pick your poison, some have Questing Druid, some don't. There's just an endless number of different versions. Some have Blossoming Defense, some don't, some have a million different ways you can build this deck. And this is the most popular version on Magic Online right now. And we're going to go ahead and talk about why. So first of all, the card on your screen, Slickshot Show-Off. If you've been living under a rock the past couple of weeks, you may not have been familiar with this card. It is a 1/2 flying haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +2/+0, and it has plot for 2 mana. Plot basically means you can exile it for 2 mana and then cast it for free on a future turn. Now, the plot aspect of this card is good, because if your opponent is holding up mana, say for a Fatal Push, you can just say, okay, I'm going to exile it and deal with it later. And then not only do you not have to expose your Slickshot to a Fatal Push that turn, you also get to potentially protect it on a future turn. Now, why is that important? So, as I said, a lot of the versions of Mono Red, not all of them play this card called Blossoming Defense. When I first started playing the red aggro decks with Slickshot, I tried this card for one league, wasn't a huge fan of it, and kind of, just dismissed it early. And then I decided to, I was trying a bunch of different red decks for upcoming RCQs, and I wanted to try this card again. Again, the core of this deck, pretty straightforward. Red aggressive cards. What are the best red aggressive cards? Kumano, one of the best red cards printed in the last couple of years. Just every time you have this card in your opening hand, it increases your win rate by so much, because, you play it on turn 1, it deals them a damage. Your next creature that you cast gets an additional counter that's worth at least 1 more damage, and then the 2/2 haste, which even just those 3 things combined, 1 mana for 4 damage, if you can, convert all 3, that's insane. And then that's even, presuming you get to attack a second time with a creature that got a counter, or attack a second time with this. This card is absurd. Best red card printed in a long time, maybe, close to Slickshot, but Monastery Swiftspear, this card needs no introduction. Prowess haste, same with Soul-Scar Mage. Prowess, not quite haste, but the -1/-1 counters do matter quite a bit, especially in the red aggressive mirrors. Past that, the other creature we have here is Questing Druid. Now, this is kind of a topic that's up for debate. A lot of the red decks don't play Questing Druids, even the ones that are splashing green. A lot of lists have just pick your poison in the sideboard. Maybe sometimes they splash for a Atarka's Command, but a lot of them don't play Questing Druid. Now, this is not the most mana efficient card, because not only, so with a card like Reckless Impulse, which is a similar effect, it's 2 mana, exile the top 2, you can play them until the end of next turn. The issue with Questing Druid is you only get them for that specific turn cycle, or until your next end step, which means that if you Questing Druid on your main phase and hit 2 spells that you can't cast, you would be able to cast next turn, they just go away forever. So the play patterns with this card is a little bit different. You usually want to cast it on your opponent's end step so that you can untap with all of your mana to be able to cast those cards. And again, 2 mana, it can be a little clunky. Some lists play Light Up the Stage. I've tried that card. It's okay, but what I like about Questing Druid is you can also just play it as a creature. Remember, if you have Kumano, you want to make sure you have a creature on turn 2. Now, not ideal. You would much rather play a Soul-Scar or a Swiftspear or a Slickshot on turn 2. If this is all you have, then this is all you have, and sometimes you just need another body. And against, stuff like Rakdos and Phoenix, it is a pretty good 2-for-1, right? You're casting their end step, you get 2 cards out of it, and then you get a creature out of it as well. So can be worth quite a bit of cards, especially in those matchups. That's pretty much it for the creatures. Now, let's move on to the spells. We had the aforementioned Blossoming Defense, extremely good with Slickshot Show-Off, because, again, with plot, etc., etc. But even without Slickshot Show-Off, you have another pump spell in your deck in the form of Monstrous Rage. And this card is extremely powerful. It's 1 mana, basically +3/+1 and trample, and then your creature retains the additional +1/+1 for the following turns. Now, it can be awkward in spots where you want to cast this to get in damage, but you're worried about them having a removal spell. Well, you're no longer worried about them having a removal spell if you have Blossoming Defense. So that's that is a very common play pattern with this deck. Same thing with Audacity. Very powerful card. Gives your creature +2/+2 and trample. Very good with Prowess because you're pumping your creatures a lot, and trample is good on Prowess creatures, but it's another one of those cards where if they have a removal spell in response to your Audacity, you don't actually get the card off of Audacity because it never goes from the field to the graveyard. So being able to protect your creature with a Blossoming Defense when you go for an Audacity, very important. Past that, we have the most efficient, / good shock that there is in Pioneer, Play with Fire. I'm not going to talk too much about this. You can read what it does on the tin. It's just 2 damage, and if you go upstairs, you get to scry 1. Nothing too crazy going on here, but it's just, again, the fact digging that 1 extra card can matter quite a bit in a lot of situations. And then the rest of the spells, just kind of talking about them very quickly, we have a Snakeskin Veil, which is kind of just like your 5th Blossoming Defense. Unfortunately, they only let you play 4 copies of a card, so this is the next best thing, because I do kind of want a 5th copy of that effect. 3, Atarka's Command. Not the most impressive card, because it can be awkward if your opponent is interacting with your creatures early and often. But if you have 2 creatures, if you have 1 or more creatures in play, casting this can be worth a lot of damage. So, I think the ceiling on this card is very high. The floor is Skullcrack. Like, that, the floor is not too bad. But this one is a card that I'm still not 100% sure on. And then last but not least, 2 copies of Witchstalker Frenzy. Very, very good at killing large things, specifically Shieldred the Apocalypse. And, Vein Ripper in a game 1 situation, it's not ideal because you have to sacrifice one of your creatures to do that. But it's better than letting them untap with a Vein Ripper, so could be worse. As far as the mana is concerned, nothing too crazy here. 4 Karplusan, a couple of pathways, 2 dens. One thing I will mention is you don't want to play a ton of Ramunap Ruins because this version is a little bit green heavier than, most other versions of mono red or red green, where they're just barely touching green. So we do kind of need 4 copies of Karplusan Forest to be able to support your Blossoming Defenses, Atarka's Commands, and Questing Druids. And therefore, you don't want to play a ton of Painlands because you already have 4 Karplusan and the Ramunap, so I would strongly recommend against playing more Ramunap Ruins, and I'm not even sure that I want the first one if I'm going to play 4 Karplusan Forest. Sideboard, pretty straightforward stuff. You have your Giganta. I've seen people I've seen deck lists where their entire main deck is Giganta compatible, but they choose not to run Giganta because they prefer the 15th sideboard card. Now, I don't want to get into any Lurrus and Burn debates. Sound off in the comments what your opinion is there. But let's just say a free card is a free card, and if your deck can play Giganta, you probably should do it. Pick your poison. I've talked ad nauseum about this card. Vein Ripper, Leyline Binding, Fable the Mirror Breaker, Ledger Shredder, Crackling Drake. There's an endless list of cards that this thing kills, and again, I've talked about mono red splashing green. Sometimes this is the only green card they splash for because it is that good. The 3rd copy of Witchstalker Frenzy, here for Shieldred. 3 Rampaging Ferocidons. Apparently this deck has a bad Amalia matchup. Didn't know that because I keep losing to it, but for some reason, I thought the matchup wouldn't be too good because you have enough removal and you have ways to draw the game with Monstrous Rage. So I didn't think the matchup was going to be that bad, but apparently I've been losing to it, so, Ferocidon, good against Amalia. Case of the Crimson Pulse, here for the grindy matchups. Probably my favorite card in the sideboard. Every time you resolve this against the mono-black Waste-Not deck, their entire deck just implodes. They can't beat this card, so very, very good card. Magebane Lizard here for Phoenix and Lotus Field when your opponent is trying to cast multiple spells. Rending Volley, same thing here for Amalia. Again, I feel like the Amalia matchup in theory, should be good enough to where you maybe don't need this much Amalia hate, but I've been losing to it more than I've been beating it, so here we are. That's pretty much it for the deck list, though. I hope you enjoyed the little recap there, and I'm very excited to showcase you guys these games, so let's not make you wait any longer. I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Just not have a 5 lands in my opening hand, please. Yeah, this hand's great. Okay. You literally cannot find it on Goldfish. I mean, there's a lot out there. I will tell. I don't know why you can't find it, but there's a lot out there for sure. Maybe I'm supposed to just cast the spell half of that, but I mean, I'm just gonna die anyways. This game's already over. Yeah, that was the point that I was trying to make earlier. Everybody keeps asking me, Doomwig, why are you not playing Blossoming Defense? And it's, if the whole point is you want to play Slickshot with protection spells, just play Heroic. It's a much better version of Slickshot plus protection, you know what I mean? It's like, why are we going through the hoops to put green cards in our deck when you could just play Heroic? Like, that version is just, like, a much, much better version of what this deck is trying to do. So I don't really understand it. But people seem to like this deck, so I'll try it. Found Pure Mono Red, which only did decently well in prelims. I mean, it's on Goldfish listed as Gruul aggro. I know for a fact it's there. So they're going to Charm. But Charm is just counter fight, right? So I just respond and rage. Yeah, this is much more damage this way. Because then the fight resolves. Oh, it's not a fight, but whatever. This is more damage this way, basically. What a greedy play. I mean, they have to go for it, right? Especially if they already have Stage in hand. What else is their Charm doing? Although, it looks like maybe they don't have Stage, because they probably would have played it by now. Okay, so is this lethal? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? No. It's only 11, right? Because this doesn't trigger the Druid. So if it's not lethal, I should probably cast the Show-Off and then kill them next turn. I could pump the Show-Off, I guess. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still not lethal. So now, I guess they had a second Charm. That's why they did that. That kind of makes sense. If they had second Charm anyways, then it's fine to get Stage. But it kind of seems like their hand sucks. All right, here. Dex metagame. Pioneer. Rule aggro. 3 5-0s. I mean, I guess the prelims it's not doing super well, but like bunch of 5-0s. This challenge has 2 in the top 16, 1 top 8, 1 top 16, 1 top 8. I don't know. It's like, it's there for sure. But like, it is there, I can promise you. I will say that I think from the results that I've seen over the past, like, maybe the past week or so, it does seem like the Wizards versions are doing a little bit better. And that's kind of been my sentiment too. I think the Wizard package is good. But like the question is, how do we build the best version of Wizards? All right. Okay, Lotus Field. Magebane me? I think just Magebane. Cut Snakeskin Veil and... Oh no, the Frenzies, right? The Frenzies get out of here. Should we cut, like, Snakeskin Veil for a Rampaging Ferocidon? Probably not. I like Magebane against Lotus Field, but that's really all it's good against. It's maybe good against Phoenix. What I do like about it against Phoenix is that it dodges Fiery Impulse. I think that's huge. But, I mean, you could also just play Damping Sphere. I like that Magebane, like, Damping Sphere is weird for your deck because you're trying to triple spell sometimes. So I like that Magebane is kind of like a one-sided Damping Sphere, although it doesn't punish them as much because they actually get their mana still. Yeah, that's true. Pia is probably good against these red decks, huh? Always have the Grazer. Society if my Lotus opponent did not have turn 1 Grazer. You take that back. Pia is not bad. No, it's probably bad. How dare you? You gonna plot onto? No, because plotting is just missing a damage. If they have lockdown, whatever, I don't give a shit. I have a second Show-Off. It has reach. I know, but if I plot, they block the Soul-Scar. I'm missing a damage if I plot, is what I'm saying. Oh. You were saying before, okay. You were behind. I see. They didn't have lockdown or Thespian stage, which is probably good for me. So here's the question, how much do I extend? Because I don't think I can kill them this turn. I could certainly get close. Maybe I just go Audacity, hold up Druid. Kind of into that. Okay, let's do some math. So I can cast these 3 spells, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Minus 3 is 15, so I can put them to 4. He's putting them to 4 good. Not that good. Audacity plot is not bad. It's a little bit... Maybe it's actually probably a little bit better if they draw the lockdown or have Verdict. They go like Botanical Sanctum Verdict. Okay, let's Audacity the Soul-Scar. Because this lets me attack with both. And then I think we go post-combat plot. And then we should almost 100% be able to kill them next turn. Okay, we go to 15, plot this, go. No Thespian stage, please. Looks like they have Vizier. Any stagers? Any stagers? Yes, the Rage here, because if they have lockdown, the Slickshot is too slow, it feels like. Is the Slickshot not lethal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you draw a land, it's 12. Okay, I guess it's not quite, so we'd have to draw another 1-mana spell. Maybe you're right. Please tell me you're not casting Jamocha. Please. They did tap white mana. Oh god. I think we're getting Jamocha jump scared in before they have the ban ultimatum. I don't even think that's legal. Could be Atraxa. Did these decks play Atraxa?
Bruh.
I've answered my own question. Turns out they do. You learn something new every day, I guess. As a matter of fact, they do. But you still have lethal if you draw any 1-mana instant or sorcery. How can I possibly have lethal through them gaining 7? There's no way that's true, right? Let's assume that I draw another Monstrous Rage. They block Slickshot, so they're at 22. This would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I think I'm 1 point short. 2 from Audacity plus 2 from defense is 25. I think I counted 21. Could shrink Atraxa. Oh, true. If I draw a Shock, I can shrink Atraxa. So we like Shock is basically just deal it. Well, it's the same thing, right? I either deal them 2 or shrink the Atraxa, which is gaining them 2 less life. So it is the same thing either way. But yeah, I could draw a Shock. I mean, I'll have to do the math again, but I'm pretty sure I was 2 points short. I counted 21. But I could be wrong. Oh, true. Shocking it is better because we get trample plus dealing it 2. Okay, well, I have drawn the Rage. I'm pretty sure I'm 1 point short, right? Fuck it, you know, whatever. It's not like I'm gonna win if they get to attack with the Atraxa, you know what I mean? Risk pick your poison? I know, right? But my dreams, they don't sent in. I hope this is lethal, but I don't think it is. Well, they don't have an Atraxa in play. I told you, though. Streamer told you. I did the math. The one time that I have ever done the math in my entire life, and I was correct. My opponent's at 1 life. Read him and weep. 1 life. We did the math. You'll love to see it. Math has been done. Cathal gifting a sub to Normal Ninja. What about Abnormal Ninja? Thank you for the gifted sub, Cathal. I appreciate that. But my dreams.
Bruh. 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 Bruh.
Okay, then. Well, now what? No, we did I pick your poison? I didn't bring it in. I didn't know they had this card. Sure. Now that I know that they have Atraxa and 9 lives, I guess I'll bring in Pick Your Poison if we go to game 3. Well, I should probably Questing Druid now in case I hit Swiftspear to kind of keep this, to get this going faster, right? I think that makes sense. Makes sense to me, at least. All right. It's gonna take a while. I'm gonna be here for a while. Superior Chef Master. I mean, to be fair, they've cast the 9 lives and not killed me, so at least there's that. You know, I could have been dead. Look at the paw. Is it a paw counter? It says incarnation counter. Why is it not a paw counter? It's clearly a paw. You know. Oh, well, hello there. Ooh, wait. You know what I just realized? What if we had Wild Slash in our deck? That would be so funny, right? We now have to play Wild Slash to tech for the 9 lives meta. I mean, Atarka's command does remove a counter from 9 lives. Float Mana says, if they cast Solemnity, I'll gift 10 subs. Alright, well. Get the PayPal ready, I'm just saying. Wild Slash would be way better. I mean, Wild Slash just seems like a fine card. If you wanted a cheap burn spell. You could certainly do worse than Wild Slash. Are they dead next turn? Technically, yes, right? Not if they have... Oh, God. They got Leer? Okay, I thought they were going to get... Well, that's... Yeah, that's probably good enough. I thought they were going to get Dramoka. Make them play it out. Why? What's the point? They have 2 strings and a pour. Alright, fine. I'll just yield until next end step. I'm gonna take a nap. I'll be right back. What if I told you I slept with my eyes open? Chill. Chill with the life gain. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. I guess it's impossible for them to brick because they still have another pour in their graveyard. I mean, I guess the fact that they can't gain life doesn't matter, right? Because once this dies, they lose the game. If I can deal them damage 4 times, it doesn't matter if they gain 10 million life this turn. This is what's going to kill them. Yeah, but the life gain doesn't matter, you know? Yeah, the life gain is irrelevant. I think they boarded up their win cons. I mean, if they did... Oh. That's probably good enough. Alright, that's probably good enough. So they boarded into, like, terrible blue-green Bant control or whatever. Alright, pick your poison. Coming in the deck. Get in there. What do we cut? Snakeskin Veil and 2 Blossoming Defense is just not very good. Alright, we'll go with this. Folks, if you are new to the stream, first and foremost, welcome. I hope you're having a good time. The biggest thing that you could do, the most important thing that I want all 481 of you to check out is if you are not following the stream, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and scroll down to the bottom right of your screen and just click that follow button. It would be greatly appreciative. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does help out the stream. Keep this for sure. For surezies. There's a follow button. There should be. Unless they took it away. They did hide the Prime subs on us, so. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, I wanted to make an announcement for this. So, apparently, I learned this the other day. For those of you who don't know, Twitch has what they call a Partner Plus program, and they just put it into motion. going to cast the Questing Druid this turn, I think. So with the new Partner Plus program, there's two levels. So level 1 is if you maintain 100 plus points, which is 100 recurring tier 1 or above subs. Gifteds and primes don't count for that. And then tier 2 is 300. So we are in tier 1, and we are very close to tier 2. I mean, this is the progress. So what you have to do is you have to maintain 300 for the course of 3 months. And I mean, if you look at the last 3 months, we're very, very close to 300. So we are extremely, extremely close to that second level. But even at just level 1, they give you a bump in the ad revenue split. So we are officially at level 1, which is nice. And they just changed that at the beginning of this month, I think. Float Mana converting from a prime to a tier 1. I appreciate that. Thank you, Float Mana. Been following you on Twitter for a little while now. Just qualified for RC Lil. Nice. Congratulations, Torster. All right, give me some good cards off this. Preferably that cost 1 mana. Not exactly. Pickled Bolus, thank you for the 10-month resub. Thank you guys for the subs. I appreciate that. Very, very nice of you. My Yed. Any Yeds? So I don't mind going all in here, because if they have lockdown... Okay, how does this work with lockdown? Does the Audacity go under the lockdown, or does it die? I think it goes under the lockdown, right? But then my question is, if I kill the lockdown, do I have anything to enchant this? No, right? Because I would have to have another creature in play. Like, before the lockdown dies. That's what I thought, yeah. Just wanted to make sure. Right. If I already have a creature in play before I cast the Pick Your Poison, then it would work. That's a good question that I don't know the answer to. So in that instance where the Audacity dies, would I draw a card off of it? I don't think so, right? Well, we're about to find out. We are, in fact, about to find out. All right, so apparently it says Audacity can't be attached to a legal object. It will not enter the battlefield and remain in its current zone. All right, noted. Good to know. We have found our answer. I'm not going to cast the command. I think I just need max damage. I mean, realistically, I'm going to die next turn, but there's not much I can do about that. Just kind of is what it is. All right, +1, 3 damage, and then we can go sleep. Do not think I want a third copy of that. I think I am all set. They go to 2? Yeah, it stays exiled. Because, so, Audacity is attempting to enter the battlefield from exile. Unfortunately, there is no target. Like, it doesn't have a legal target when it's coming into play from exile. Therefore, it stays in the zone that it currently is in, which was exiled from the lockdown. Interesting. Okay. We still have lethal. I'm surprised they would bounce the Druid there and not the Soul-Scar Mage. I mean, I guess they figure since I'm missing land drops, they don't care if I'm spending 2 to seek the beast. Makes sense. Doesn't make sense to me. So it's in exile from the lockdown. The lockdown dies, so it's attempting to come back into play. But because there's nothing for it to enchant, that's why it stays in exile. I mean, I'm going to try and kill them. +1, 3 damage. Is this lethal? Do you have another bounce spell? You do not. There you go. 1-0. That match took a long time. The man feels out of place when not going wide. Who's to say we're not going wide? We still have 16 creatures. Actually, 20 with Kumano, you know. I really don't want to keep this hand, but it's probably okay. Could be wrong. Maybe pumping 2x creatures is enough. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, even though you're not going, like, quote-unquote wide with the wizards, you still have a decent number of creatures in this deck, right? 4, 8, 12, as Moto just decides to be weird. 4, 8, 12, 16. You still have 20, so it's like, yeah, you're not going as wide as the wizards deck, perhaps, because you don't have as many 1-drops, but, I mean, you are still kind of going wide. So surely this is the matchup where Blossoming Defense has to be good, right? Because if it's not good against this matchup, then why aren't we playing it? Like, there's just no point. Kind of sucks, but I think I have to give up the counter there. Although I could just maybe hope they don't main phase the binding. But they're pretty likely to main phase the binding, right? Is it not good versus vampires? It's like okay, right? I don't think it's fantastic. But, I mean, it's not very good if they just put a Vein Ripper into play. Because the thing about vampires is, like, let's say they're on the play, and they go, I don't know, whatever, something on turn 1, maybe nothing on turn 2, but they just, like, they hold up mana on turn 2. Do you just cast your Slickshot into their removal spell? No, you probably have to plot it. But then you plot the Slickshot, and they just play... You plot the Slickshot, they go Sorin Ripper, and then it's like, you're just dead anyways, you know? Are you sure about that? I've been getting cooked by Div with these red decks. The versions that have more burn are maybe a little bit better, but I have been kind of getting cooked. See, this is kind of a spot where I think Command looks pretty good. Because now they have to use their removal spell. They could have 2 removal spells. Although, it's not likely, because I think all of their removal is white, right? That's a beating. That is a beating. Is that lethal? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, right? It's lethal, I think. All right, you did. Okay, all right. You know, I might have dismissed this card a little too early. Perhaps I may have dismissed that card just a tad too early, huh? So we want Cases and Pips. Is Case even good against Niv? Maybe it's not. I'm gonna cut the Audacities. Although Audacity is kind of nice against Sylvan Carry did. I could shave. No, I kind of like Atarka's Command if they have Helix. I want to keep all the protection spells. Do I possibly cut a Rage? No, I feel like if I cut the Audacities and the Rage, I think I'm making myself a little too big to carry it. So I'm going to shave the Command. Although it is possible I don't want the Cases against them, because they do have a lot of bindings and stuff. Here's one thing that I've noticed too. Now, normal heuristics, you always play the Kumano first. But I'm wondering, in a matchup that you're more likely to plot the Show-Off, would you ever consider playing Swiftspear first? Or is that just crazy? Maybe the answer is you just play the Kumano and cast the Slickshot, and just, like, accept the fact that you're not going to plot it here. It's probably more realistic, right? But it's one thing that I've kind of been running into. And I don't know if it's necessarily an issue, or if it's just, like, something that you have to change the way that you're playing. Now, in this spot, you know, who cares? If they can't kill my Slickshot, I don't mind casting it here. But, like, if they held up Binding or something, you know. I was going to say, them leading on Hinterland Fortress means they 100% have carried it, because why else would they keep this hand? I can hold up Rage on Slickshot to play around Clarion. Kind of like that. So maybe I'm supposed to go Swifty. Yeah, let's go Swifty, Tapland, attack. If they block the Swifty, then, or if they block either of these, I'll Rage. Yeah, they can't really afford to block. Maybe I should just Rage anyways, because it gets a lot more damage in. I like that. And now they can't Clarion or Helix this. They can't Binding. They could... I guess they could go Culling Ritual. Ritual would be kind of annoying. Ritual is certainly the worst case scenario for me. Anything other than Ritual I think I'm okay with. Clarion doesn't matter. Helix doesn't matter. They can't cast Binding. Extinction Events, whatever. Yeah, who cares about that card? They're just dead. Not technically. Okay, no, now they're dead. Now they're extremely dead. I would like to Seek the Beast. Sometimes they have Fatal Push, I guess. Okay. Well, I guess if they have Push, we're not covered. Could have perhaps played the second Slickshot instead. I've seen some Dimbless have Fatal Push. But no, they would have Fatal Push main phase, right? Like, for sure they would have Fatal Push main phase if they had it to not play around Blossoming Defense. Alright, 2-0. I really hope I don't 5-0 with this version, because then I kind of feel pressured into playing Blossoming Defense. Ooh, this is the actual trophy leader. This is the person who stole my throne. I'm back, John Rapp. I'm here to claim my throne. You better look out. You're in trouble. You're in trouble this time. John Rapp, I'm coming for you. They're also 3-0, so it'd be really nice to beat them. It's better mono red or Gruul to make it paper. I mean, most of the Gruul versions that I've played are just mono red with Pick Your Poison. Again, still not 100% sure about the Blossoming defenses, but I do like Pick Your Poison in the sideboard. Any chance we play in slow artifacts? Considering that I'm not going to play it, probably. Like, I don't have any interest in playing that deck in an RCQ. Personally, for me, just because like I don't have the cards and whatever, but I'm kind of trying to keep it to decks that I would consider playing in RCQs. Okay, they have push. Yeah, I'm just going to give up the counter from Kumano, because I don't want to get pushed. I want to leave myself the opportunity to draw a protection spell. Well, did not draw a protection spell. I guess we're just going in. I mean, they kind of have to think about me having a protection spell, given that I didn't cast last turn and I plotted. Not that they're going to play around it, but I'll just save the play with fire, actually. I think this is fine. Dealing them 3 is good. Yeah. I want to have a bigger play with fire turn next turn. This would be a 6 spot for Atarka's command. They didn't cast a removal spell. I doubt they have main deck Path of Barrel. Well, ask and you shall receive, I guess. I cannot complain about that draw step. So I attack. I guess I Monstrous Rage the Etching. Yeah, I mean, I knew I was going to spend most of the day playing Gruul. So we're going to try and do it after this league. We should have time to get to it. But I'm just trying to find the best Gruul version, the best version of Gruul to play this weekend. Greatest mana value. Okay. Well, I don't know if it's lethal. I didn't do the math. I'm casting it anyways. Red, green. It's got to be close. All right. Well, I actually, as a matter of fact, I did do the math. If you think about it, I kind of did do the math. Math equals done. Do we bring in Pick Your Poison against Mono Black? I do have Waste Not, but I guess how much do I care about Waste Not? I think these cards are kind of mid. Gonna bring in. I don't know if I want 3 frenzies though. It does kill Shieldred, but 3 is kind of a lot of frenzies. I feel like 2 is probably good. Maybe I do 2 Pick Your Poison, keep the Audacities. I'm down with that. We'll try that. Sounds good. Yeah, 0 chance Modern ever gets Brainstorm. Absolutely 0. But we can have Ancient Tomb. Unbans Ponder next BNR. I mean, unironically, Ponder could get unbanned. I think Ponder would be fine in this format. Brainstorm, however, is not fine. Definitely not fine. The tiniest of bones. So if I play the Swiftspear, they're just going to Fatal Push me. Wait, this card's insane against me. Holy shit. Did I just not play my Swiftspear? I think I might be supposed to not cast it. Feels really bad, though. Alright, I'm gonna get a little weird here. I guess it's also bad if they can just go Thoughtseize, take this, then play it, so... I don't know. Tiny Bones is really good against me, especially on the play. When I'm on the play, it's like, who cares? But did you see they're printing an official Doom card in a secret lair? Wait, this is a real secret lair? And they even have the O's? The big O's? They didn't reach out to me. They stole my branding. I feel like I should get a cut of all the sales, right? Watsy, if you're listening, I expect my cut. You can PayPal me, you can mail me a check. I'd preferably PayPal, but... Alright, they took my case and didn't attack. Okay, well, drawing Play with Fire makes it easy. Get this Tiny Bones out of here. 1 million seems reasonable. I know, right? I'm gonna speak to my lawyers. Don't worry about that. No! We're not supposed to have a second one. This is not fair. Also, I don't have a basic forest. That's an issue. I think I have to get a little greedy here. I just hope they don't draw a Fatal Push from my Swiftspear. I'm going to hold it back, though. Because I do not want to give them a free Swiftspear. Sorry, those are uppercase O's. Mine are zeros. GG, well played. I mean, I don't know. That would probably hold up in court, right? Surely? Surely that would hold up in court. They have a Shield Rid. This is not great. I attack. Oh shit, they have this. I didn't see that. Yeah, they copied my even flow, you know? It's no longer even. It's now uneven flow. Thanks, Savage. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. That's very nice of you to say. Still got those shield rids. Still got them. Whoa. This is aggressive. I mean, I guess they're at 17. It's probably fine. Alright, so we have to draw a Questing Druid. Questing Druid me, please. Not exactly. Alright, let's go to game 3. Let's go to game 3. I really don't want to get stuck with Frenzy in my hand. They don't play that many shield rids, right? They play like 2. I don't know. I know for a fact this game I'm gonna draw 2 of them, but they're just not gonna cast shield rid. I know for a fact that's gonna happen. I can see the future. And I feel like this is not a matchup that you can afford to get stuck with cards in your hand. Like, you need all of your cards to be extremely relevant because they have so many discard spells. I mean, if they don't have Thoughtseize, this hand's good. I'm going to make it the least suspicious that I have a shock by just playing Karplusan Forest. Because if they play Tiny Bones, I really do want to be able to kill it. Need some winning lottery numbers. Well, you see, the thing is, part of me seeing the future is I have never won the lottery. I cast Veil of Summer. So, yeah, that's the problem. I don't know the winning lottery numbers because I've never won the lottery. You know what I mean? Alright, give me a Thoughtseize Bug. It's good enough, I guess. I mean, not really, but it's going to have to be good enough. Yeah, in the future, not a single person is winning the lottery. That's how it works. Alright, man. Fine. Take my Blossoming Defense and kill my creature. Yep. Yep. Give me Case. Case and we win. Not quite Case. Is that better than picking up Giganta? Maybe not. These decks cannot be Case. I mean, if Mono Black is going to be popular, I kind of want a third Case. If you resolve it against them, they have no chance. They're just dead. Yeah, it's like kind of annoying. Super Bowl winners. It's almost like this is exactly what I was saying when you're stuck with cards in your hand that you can't cast against the Thoughtseize Fatal Push deck. I mean, I'm not trying to be results-oriented, but like this is how the matchup plays out. You just can't afford to have bricks. It's been pretty popular online, at least. How was the Ballborn Tyrant deck? It felt pretty good. Still not 100% sure if it's like... It's not better than Atraxa in every situation, but I think it's better in enough situations that it's worth considering at least. Well, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, because at least defense is castable if you have any creature in play. You know, even if they're not casting a removal spell, it still can be a shock. So it's not quite the same thing. Just gonna discard this Bigger Poison. Did I do a YouTube video on the new spoilers? I made a YouTube video yesterday. Alright, land or Questing Druid, please. Okay, we'll take a land. I don't know how many, like, non-Fatal Push targeted removal spells they play. I don't know what the general, like, what the split is usually, but I know they play a lot of Fatal Pushes and a lot of Edicts, too, so they might not be able to kill this Giganta. My thoughts on Quintorius combo. Probably okay. That deck feels powerful to me, but I just don't know what are its bad matchups. Like, it has to have some bad matchups. Every time I play against it, I get destroyed, though. So, it's got to be good. Like, is it bad against Phoenix? Is it bad... It's probably bad against Amalia, right? I don't know. But I do like the deck. It's powerful. The hell is this? I went to tap all their mana. Okay, it's pretty good. This is just the fancy Torment of Hailfire. Nice draw step. You can't play Quintorius against Prowess. I mean, I'm playing Prowess, and I played against Quintorius earlier, and I got demolished. Like, they just went turn 2 removal spell, turn 3 removal spell, turn 4 removal spell, turn 5 Quintorius, and I had no chance. Now, granted, maybe they don't do that every game, because they don't have that many removal spells, but I got demolished. Just you wait till I draw a creature, okay? One creature and we're good to go. All you do is leave up shock. What happens when you don't draw shock? If they get another trophy, it's all my fault. I had the power. I controlled my own destiny. These hands are just not keepable. Okay, I guess. This one's acceptable. It's not good, but it's fine. Yeah, seriously, bring back Ballista and Pioneer. I mean, if they have to ban Heliod, then whatever, fine. But like without Karn, Ballista's fine. Turn 3 Ulamog, yeah, the green decks are good. I think they're being slept on. I just don't think people have like understood the right way to build them yet. Piece of the Crimson Pulse against sideboarding in. You're saying what matchups? Anything that's playing black. If your opponent has Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, or any removal spells at all, you want Case. That card is busted. I think I'm going to play 3. Mixtape, thank you for the 18 months, since unfortunately we don't have sound alert, or we don't have resub messages for some ungodly reason. Hey Doom, thoughts on Blue-White Spirits with Aven Interrupter? If Mono Red is going to be one of the most played decks, I think that Spirits is in a bit of a sketchy position, because Spirits traditionally not that great against Mono Red. So that would be my my concern with that. Because these red decks have been picking up a lot of popularity. Do you think Rakdos Sack will make a comeback with all the aggro? Well, it's funny you ask that, because that may or may not be our backup deck that I'm gonna try to play after this league. We should have time to get to it. I have an update to Rakdos Sacrifice that, to be quite honest with you, I'm surprised that people haven't tried before, or at least I haven't seen it. Oh god, they're playing Profts. So based. Extremely based. Are you main decking Blot Out? No, I'm just not going to play against vampires. Wait, I don't want to guess that. I thought they were blocking. Legion Extruder. No, you want to see the list? Hold on, I'll show you. Cryptic Code. We will simply not play against vampires. They announced a new secret layer, and the font is the worst thing ever. No, I saw, yeah, that's the one. It was the Doomblade, right? Tom Bird showed me that one. They stole my branding. I better get a cut of that. I'm just saying. They better be giving me a cut of that. Just throw that out there. You think no push main is actually the right way to build Sack anyways? Probably, yeah. Although it's a little bit weird against all the red decks. Like, push is good against the red decks. So, like, normally Rakdos Sacrifice is very good against aggressive decks, but I do feel like without Fatal Push and Claim, maybe that's not necessarily true anymore. So I could see myself running into issues against red without either Fatal Push or Claim. That's kind of why I wanted to try it. Proft Jump Scare. Or are they playing Evangel? I mean, Evangel's a fine card. I had it in my initial versions. They might just be playing one of the older versions. But it's not embarrassing. Card's totally fine. Why did they concede? They weren't even that far behind. They just trade. They knew my last card was a Gigantha. Alright, Case coming in. Ferocidon bad. They do have Shield Druid. We have to decide how many of these I want to bring in. They have what? Steam Core Scholar, Evangel, Duelist of the Mind, Ledger Shredder. So I would assume Volley is better, because I don't think I want both. I'm going to cut the Rages and one Audacity, I think. Try that. Oh, wait, that's 61? No. Cut. Okay, go. 60. Oops. I don't like Lizard against decks that have Fatal Push. And they're playing 4 push. This hand's a little too reactive, but I'm going to keep it. Alright, no Thoughtseize. It's not a bad draw. I'm not afraid to die. Their red decks play Frenzy. Yeah, that is true. Okay, sure. So they have like 2, maybe 3 outs to it if they board in the extra Frenzy, which they probably will, so that is a good point. I kind of forgot about Frenzy. Based Duelist Enjoyer. You'll love to see it. I love this card. Isn't Chandra's Defeat just worse than Red Cap Melee? Because Melee can at least kill other non-red creatures. Melee does 4. Yeah, still kills Amalia. Oh, you're saying defeat kills Giganta? Yeah, but nobody plays defeat. They all play melee. For the specific reason that it kills non-red creatures. Melee is definitely better. If you're gonna play a card for the mirror, you should play melee. Kind of like Frenzy here, although it's in this exact instance, it's kind of the same thing as Scorching Shot because it costs 2 mana in combat. So it is, for all intents and purposes, the same thing. Where are you? I sure hope they don't have Spell Pierce, though. Because my etching is dead if they have Spell Pierce. They don't have Spell Pierce, right? I could have just not made this attack, maybe. Or I could have not played the Kumano pre-combat, but then I lose Prowess triggers. Surely I will not get punished. Yeah, never punished. Etching kind of relevant against crews, too, which is nice. You wish Barrage was an instant? I think that card would be way too good as an instant. Power Word Kill. Word, in fact. Okay. Questing Druid 07, which means I have to upkeep play. They go to 5, then 3. They're pretty close to dead. Any Atarka's commands? Any Atarka's commands? Not quite. I miss you, miss you. Alright, you go to 3. Your turn. My head. Someone in the chat knows how it calls the red with uncounterable spark. The uncounterable... Are you talking about Rending Volley, Genbu? Are you referring to... Oh, I bordered it in. I was going to show you what it was, but... Rending Volley is the one? Fry? Tears of Valakut? Those are the uncounterable ones that I can think of. Chat, quick, list off some new uncounterable cards. It's a new card. Lithomantic Barrage? Is that the one you're talking about, Genbu? Okay. Confirmed, not dead. Quagnoth, Giga Chad. Do I put them to 1? Surely I put them to 1, right? I mean, they have no cards in their hand. Putting them to 1 means that another etching is lethal. And Play with Fire. I guess Play with Fire was lethal anyways. It's time for Giganta to solo this game. I mean, you all know, Giganta clears. Giganta clears. Every single time. Okay. Maybe they'll attack and die to Swiftspear? Nope. I will not bow. You are now dead. I'll top that. And these hands are just non-functional. Ugh. I'm not keeping this. I'm not doing it. You can't make me keep this hand. This one's better. This one is much better. Put almost to 5. Is it just me, or do these, I don't know, do a lot of these hands with the red decks just don't feel functional? Maybe it's just me, though. I don't know. I mean, we are playing a lot more situational cards in this version, like, again, the Blossoming Defenses and Audacities, which is kind of the reason why I don't like those cards. Just feels like they make you mulligan more. Alright, Mirror confirmed. I just have to be mana efficient, and I definitely have to protect the Show-Off, so I'm just going to do this. But I am losing the counter off Kumano. Maybe I'm too invested in this +1/+1 counter. Is just, I just can't pass up the value, you know? I feel like I'm losing a card. But I'm not really losing a card, obviously. It's kind of fine. Well, not really, because they're going to hold up mana that I can't play with fire. But I guess the nice thing about this is I have 2 creatures to their 1. That kind of helps. Because now I could maybe bait a spell out of them. Alright, land, Show-Off. If my girl and Amalia Benavides Aguirre are both drowning and I can only save 1, you can catch me at my girl's funeral, putting a Wild Growth Walker trigger on the stack, and repeating this loop until Amalia has 20 power and killing my opponent on turn 4. That one's pretty good. I like that one. That one's not bad. Behind. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the funny thing is they cannot currently cast a Wizard's Lightning because this is not a wizard. So what is the downside if I go for it? Nothing, right? Like, is there anything that matters? I mean, I don't kill them this turn, but I get them pretty fucking close. I guess they could play with fire the etching of Kumano to not go to 2. Well, they didn't. I guess I could die, but if I target the Swiftspear, they just have their own pump spell, you know? Add Calm Amalia. There you go. We now have an Amalia command, folks. Alright. Case, Frenzy. I think that's it. No command? Seems like command is the weak link in this matchup. You definitely want all the protection spells. I guess, is command better or worse than Audacity? I like that Audacity is cheaper. It's so sick. I mean, I'm happy that they printed it. I don't think the card is too good. Like, it's, you know, it's an X2, dies to Fatal Push, dies to Shock. Like, there's enough stuff that kills it, but boy, is it a powerful Magic card. Yeah, it's a Wizard too. They kept 7. This hand looks terrible. Wake up. Are you awoke yet? If not, wake up. Can we go a Kiln Fiend route? Temur Battle Rage to extend. I guess the suggestion that the thing that you're suggesting is going more all in on the pump spells. Maybe similar to what the Pommeler decks did back in the day. But again, if you're doing that, why don't you just play Heroic? You know, like, isn't that just a worse version of Heroic? I guess we can look at it to see how it would look. With, like, Become Immense. Oh, shit. You know what I just realized? Somebody in chat suggested something that I was going to try today, and I forgot. Now I'm just remembering it. We are extremely dead this game, by the way. I think my only chance is this, I guess? No, I'll show you in a second. I totally forgot this was a Magic card. I think this card's nice, especially with Monstrous Rage. It works very, very well with Monstrous Rage. This might be the missing link. Isn't Rage better? No, because Rage is only good if you're playing 4 copies. Because you want to draw the second Rage. So if you're playing it as a 1 or a 2 of, I think this is better. And like you can upkeep to Scribe 1 to be if you're in a tight spot, you can upkeep Scribe 1 bottom, you know what I mean? No, this would only be like a 1 or a 2 of. Yeah, Rage is also a sorcery. I totally forgot that somebody in chat mentioned it, and I was going to try it the other day, and then I just forgot. What did they do? They went Druid, hit land, play with fire. It's pretty bad for me. Self-righteous suicide. Alright, well, I am no longer in a position to play around cards. So I'm just going to assume that they can't kill me. Surely I'll survive, right? I attack. Thought it wasn't better. No, I need the damage. Again, because I'm also mana screwed, right? Like, even if I plot it, I'm going to have to cast 2 spells to be able to try and threaten lethal next turn, so I just can't play around anything at this point. I'm behind on mana, I'm behind on board, behind on life. I just don't have the luxury of playing around anything. I think it's important in spots like this to recognize, like, what needs to happen for you to win a game like this, and I think basically everything has to go right. No, it didn't go right, but, you know, 1, Become Immense for story equity. I mean, if you're playing TBR, then it makes sense to play Become Immense. Ordering. Sequencing. Let's buy out. I don't even know. You know, they have Ruckus exiled. Let's just go to game 3. Let's not waste our time. Alright, game 3. Game tree. We're on the play this game, though, which is good. Probably the only thing that matters in the mirror. This deck is fully on Arena. It is, right? Yeah, because they put Atarka's command in one of the recent remastered sets, or whatever they call those. Arena compilation, not alchemy bullshit. I don't even know. I don't know what the terminology for it is, but whatever that set was, they put it in. Or one of the recent ones. This is the Pathway diff. Except for lands. No. Blossoming Defense and Soul-Scar Mage are not in Standard. God, this Pathway is so awkward, because I want to go Soul-Scar, hold up Blossoming Defense, but then I can't shock their Swiftspear. Maybe I just don't have to shock their Swiftspear. But then, like, I can't really double spell next turn effectively. Yeah, Pathways suck. Are we maxed out on the other dual lands? Yeah, we are. So, I mean, I guess you could play Mana Confluence, but I don't want to do that. So how does this work? I block, they rage. Do I win if I Blossoming Defense? So I have a 5/6, and they have a... I have a 5/6, they have a 5/3. Okay, I'll block. Right? What? They just think I wasn't going to call? Okay. Interesting. I see what you did there. I'm with you. I'm with you. Meet night. Come home. Work sucks. I know. Is this Gruul Wizards? This is not the Wizard package. This is Gruul with Blossoming Defense. Which, I don't know. I mean, this card has been pretty good for me, but still, I don't know. I really don't know. It's really matchup specific, you know. This card's good in the right matchups, but I don't know. I'm not sure if 4 copies is correct. That's, I think, my big issue here. But I do like the card. Yeah, they kept the 1-lander. Looks like. Has the hexproof from relevant? Absolutely. I mean, like, it's really good against Niv, because they have Lighting Helix and all the removal spells. It's very good against Rakdos, very good against Phoenix. Like, it is insane against the interactive decks. It's just not mental misstep, but 1-mana counterspell, you know. But it's like a split card of 1-mana counterspell or deal 2 to your opponent, which, when you're playing with prowess creatures, can also be very effective. So, I mean, I do like the card quite a bit. And it's possible that I just didn't give it a fair shake the first time around. I said earlier that initially I tried it, and it wasn't that good for me. But it's been a lot more impressive this league, I will say that. I think they're dead, right? Yeah, this is 8. The paid actor. When the actor is paid. All right, picked up a 4/1. This was the deck this was the version that we did the best with. So maybe I am now required to play it in the RCQ, even though I didn't want to. I don't know. I guess what didn't we like about this list? I think the second Frenzy and the third Atarka's Command are kind of whatever, and the 4th copy of Rage. These are the 3 cards that I kind of want to cut. That being said, I don't know what else to play in their spot. Maybe just Wild Slash to have more removal. Kind of plays like the thing about Wild Slash is it does play nicely with Druid, because Druid allows you to play longer games. Like, the issue with this version is you just don't have as much removal as the Wizards deck. The Wizards deck plays 4 Play with Fire, 4 Skewer, and 4 Lightning. Here's what doesn't make sense to me. The theory is Questing Druid is just a good card, but it helps you play longer games. But what's the point of playing a card that helps you play longer games when you're cutting on removal? You are trying to shorten the length of the game by playing the pump spells with Defense and Audacity, but you're not really leaning into that because you don't have as much removal. So it kind of feels like the way this deck is built is just flawed. That being said, I do like Blossoming Defense, and I think that card was pretty impressive for me this league. So if you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought down below. See you guys in the next one. Bye, YouTube.